As we all know, assassinations are nothing new. In fact, they date back to some of the earliest recorded human history. However, what many people don't know is that oftentimes, the stories behind these famous assassinations are just as interesting than the assassinations themselves. In this video, we will be taking a look at some of the most famous assassinations in history and exploring the untold stories behind them. We will start with the assassination of Julius Caesar, which is arguably one of the most famous assassinations in history. As most people know, Julius Caesar was assassinated by a group of Roman senators on the Ides of March in 44 BC. However, what many people don't know is that the reasons for his assassination were much more complex than simply being afraid of his power. In reality, there were a number of factors that led to Caesar's assassination. First, there was the fact that Caesar had become increasingly autocratic in his rule. This meant that he was making decisions without consulting the Senate, which greatly angered many of the senators. Second, Caesar had also become very unpopular with the people of Rome. This was due to a number of factors, including his affair with Cleopatra and his decision to make himself a dictator. Finally, there was also the fact that many of the senators believed that Caesar was planning to make himself king. This was something that they desperately wanted to avoid, as it would have meant the end of the Roman Republic. All of these factors led to a perfect storm that resulted in Julius Caesar being assassinated on the Ides of March. However, his death would ultimately lead to the rise of the Roman Empire, which is one of the most famous empires in history. The next assassination on our list is that of Abraham Lincoln. As most people know, Lincoln was assassinated by John Wilkes Booth on April 14, 1865. However, what many people don't realize is that Booth was not acting alone. In reality, Booth was part of a much larger conspiracy that involved a number of different people. The main goal of this conspiracy was to kill as many high-ranking Union officials as possible in order to throw the government into chaos. Fortunately, Booth was the only one who was successful in his assassination attempt. However, the other conspirators did manage to kill a number of other important figures, including Vice President Andrew Johnson and Secretary of State William Seward. The final assassination on our list is that of Archduke Ferdinand. As most people know, Ferdinand was assassinated by Gavrilo Princip on June 28, 1914. However, what many people don't realize is that this assassination was actually the trigger for World War I. In reality, Ferdinand's assassination was just the final straw that broke the camel's back. A series of events had been building up for years that led to the outbreak of war. These events included the formation of alliances, the growth of nationalism, and the increasing militarization of Europe. All of these factors came together to create a powder keg that was waiting to explode. Within weeks of Ferdinand's assassination, Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia, setting off a chain reaction that would eventually lead to the First World War. So there you have it, 3 of the most famous assassinations in history and the untold stories behind them. As you can see, there is much more to these stories than meets the eye. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one.